Hey y'all, welcome to the Stoned Roadie Show, featuring your host, Craig Reed, the world's most famous Stoned Roadie. Your co-host, Griff Martin, the rocket scientist, and longtime Lynyrd Skynyrd fan, the lovely Kathy Godsey. I'm Shelby Barrett, your official Stonette for the show, and we're bringing you all the skin information that you need to know on the Stoned Roadie Show.
Well, welcome to the Stoned Roadie Podcast. This is the one you don't want to miss. It stars Craig Reed, the Stoned Roadie, and Griff, the rocket scientist. Let's not forget Kathy Godsey and all the old friends come along. Lord, we'll be talking Skinner and leaving you with a song.
Podcast 113 action. Alrighty then, looky here. This here is podcast 113 of the Stoned Roadie Show. And my name is Craig Reed, aka the Stoned Roadie. And this here is my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So I don't know what we're going to do tonight there, Griff. So why don't you just go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, I hope everybody had a great holiday. They're having a great holiday because it's still not over. We still have New Year's coming up. And I know I had a good holiday. Of course, every day's a holiday when you're retired, right, Craig?
That's right.
And speaking of that, Craig and I have decided the first of the year we're going to do a morning show for all you working people that are staying home too. But we're basically doing it early in the morning, and when you're on your way to work, we can jibber jabber for you, keep you awake, or maybe put you to sleep. I don't know, one of the two. But yeah, that's going to be starting the first of the year. And then another thing that we talked about on the last podcast is we're going to be giving this microphone away because we really appreciate all of our donators and our followers and our subscription people that have taken the time to watch us here on YouTube. And I've got this microphone that was in probably about half of the podcasts, and of course, Craig signed it. And we were talking about a way to do a drawing to give it away. And the easiest thing I can think of is to just take a regular envelope like this and put your return address on it right there. And your assignment is going to be to figure out where it is that you send donations to, as far as what Craig always told everybody, because people seem to forget where that donation address is. It's a P.O. box to Craig Reed, and go do your research. The drawing's not going to cost anything, and this envelope is basically your ticket to win the microphone. So send it to Craig's post office box with your return address. And you don't need to put anything in there because your return address is going to be your ticket to win. And Craig's going to put it all in a bucket and draw one of them out. And I would suggest just a small envelope like this, just a regular envelope. I can't make it any more easier than that, Craig. Can you? You think that's...
No, but I think our fans are going to want you to sign it too, you know.
Oh, I'll sign it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and sign it, being fast. Craig hated this microphone. He just absolutely hated it, and I did too, because it did sound pretty crappy. But anyway, Craig he put the Stoned Roadie on there, and he signed it, and then I'll sign below it, and it's a pretty good little collector's item. You know, you could put maybe a shadow box, put it in a shadow box, and then I'll send a good little care package with some stickers and some things like that for you. So just Craig's P.O. box and just a regular envelope with your return address, where you want the microphone sent if you win it, Put a stamp on it. Don't put anything in the envelope unless you want to put something in there and as a donation. But I wouldn't do that. I think we're done with the donations as far as when we win this. This is a thanks thing. But if you have to stick something in there because you want to, that's fine. But we're not expecting anything. And then a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Really appreciate the gifts that you guys sent. I got some really cool stuff. Got this from Brian Bodkin, who he was on the Muscle Shoals thing that we did, and Brian sent that to me. Brian, man, I didn't expect that. I was wondering what the heck it was, man, when it came in the mail. I thought it was a pipe bomb or something until I saw Brian's name on it. And then I got this from somebody, and I'm not going to mention who they are. And why can't we mention who they are, Craig? Tell the story. Tell the story about that.
Ron Eckerman put Jack Daniels, these Lynyrd Skynyrd, Jack Daniels, Lynyrd Skynyrd labels on Jack Daniels bottles. I think he put them on the pint bottles. I think Mark Howard has one that's a real old one, and I think he put them on the pint bottle. And I heard he was sending them out just as gifts to people, and somehow Jack Daniels found out about it and wrote him a real nasty letter and said, "Man, you can't do that. You can't put people's labels on our bottle, and they're going to get him in trouble." And he had to I don't know what all occurred that but he got in trouble for that. So you can't take and put your own label on somebody and on a Jack Daniels bottle, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, so that's the reason we're not mentioning who did it, but we do appreciate the gift. And then I got something pretty cool from the Kurt Town band. And they sent me a really nice card. They sent one to Craig just like this. Didn't you get one just like that? Craig?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. We mentioned that on the donations the other day when we opened them up. Yeah, they sent one.
Yeah, and you can see everybody, a couple people on there. Of course, Kurt Town, and then I don't know who had my address for this, but I appreciate you guys supporting us. You sent that to Craig too as well, and Barry Rapp and Carol Bristow, they're in that band. And for people that don't know who they are, Craig, can you say who they are, Barry Rapp and Carol Bristow?
Well, Barry Rapp was real good friends with Steve Gaines, and Carol Bristow was one of the Honkettes. She was my boss one time when she was on Honkette. Well, I was an employee of hers, I guess you could say. She was with the band, and I was a roadie, so I guess I was her employee.
Yeah, so you guys can go back and look at some of the footage of the band, the post-crash band, the tribute band. Carol Bristow's in there, and I think her and Dale Krantz were singing back up for them, right?
Yeah, they were, yeah.
And then Barry Rapp, he wrote a song with the Outlaws.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
He's been around for years and years and years. Yeah, Barry has.
Yeah, that Ghost Rider in the Sky or something like that. Wow. He's actually a co-writer on that. I actually saw a video when they were explaining that. But yeah, hey, thanks a lot, guys. And Kurt Custer, of course, he was a really good guy. That came in and did a thing with us, and he was a drummer for them, and we really appreciated him coming on the podcast. And of course, Mike Estes and all those guys that were in the tribute band. And we're going to try to get those guys back on, because they were really good coming on the podcast. And Merry Christmas to all you guys that came on the podcast. Post Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I hope you guys have a great New Year coming up. Then the other thing we were going to talk about was Gene Odom. I noticed he's got some kind of a thing going on Patreon, which that's some kind of a new platform. But what I noticed is that that Patreon was on YouTube. So I'm gonna find out a little bit more about that. Maybe I'll call Gene and see exactly what that Patreon's all about. I think it's something kind of new, but I did see a video with Gene on Patreon talking about how he got involved with Lynyrd Skynyrd and things like that. And so yeah, that's pretty cool. And so Craig, tell us about that background picture you got up there. What do you know about? What can you tell
Well,
us?
that's from Macon, Georgia. I'm pretty yeah, it's from Macon. When the band was up there in Capricorn, that's a little soul food place up there in Macon.
And were you there when they shot that?
No, that was before me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was during the pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd album. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
even before that.
really,
I think it was even before the pronounced album. Yeah.
A lot of people. I guess that's that place where everybody goes. Is that same place where
that soul food place? Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, but yeah, up there where Capricorn.
And that's pretty cool how Ed's got his beer can on Bob Burns' head like that, and they decided to leave that in. Of course, that's the old beer can that it wasn't made out of aluminum, that had the pull tab on it. And we actually found a bunch of pieces of beer cans like that at the crash site that came off the plane, just laying around, and they're the old beer can type with the old pull tab on it, which was actually, I think we even found one that still had beer in it, which was pretty amazing. But that place is just about, there's nothing there, pretty much nothing there anymore. That has been scoured through pretty hard. So Craig, you got some more donations, but I think you and Kathy are going to go through those on the New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I can. I actually did open them up because I wanted to come up with some kind of a total today. We could kind of disclose what we're going to send out to the survivors, and we let me see here. That's the wrong piece of paper. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Anyways, we got $246 since after Christmas yesterday and today. We got $246, and I think we said that we finished off, including Billy Fender's guitar that we auctioned off and included in the totals, and then the two funeral brochures that I sold. Actually, I sold 3 of those, but the first one, that was that went directly to Mark Howard. That one did, but the other 2 went for $500 a piece, so that's an additional $1,000. So yeah, we ended up with $6,100, so it all come around. But here's how it breaks down that we didn't give Leslie the $1,000 when we gave Mark Howard and Gene Odom the $1,000 down in Macomb, and then the extra from the stuff I just mentioned. We're going to send her, besides the $1,000, we're going to send her an additional $650. So we're going to send Leslie $1,650, and then we're going to send Paul Welsh $1,650, and we're going to send Mark Frank $1,650, and then Gene Odom. he's going to receive $650 extra because he got the $1,000. And then Mark Howard, he got, we sold that pick of Allen's, went for $430, but then after the fees and everything, he'll get about $370 out of that. And then Anonymous Gail sent a $200 donation, and she wanted that to go right to Mark Howard. And Kathy, well, I'm not going to mention that one because we got to open up that card. So we'll leave that one anonymous right now. But it was $100. So he got and besides the wait a minute here. He already got the 1,000. Okay, so we're gonna actually send him that an additional $1,320 with the private donations he got. Yeah, so Mark Howard, you have $1,320 coming. Gene Odom, you have $650 coming. And Mark Frank, Paul Welsh, and Leslie Hawkins, you got $1,650 coming. So, yeah, during that last year, it's about $23,000 that we sent out in donations. So, we're really appreciative of all the donators that sent in all that money, and we want to shove it right in the face of those people when we started doing this that said that we were frauds and we were collecting money for alternative motives for other than giving them to survivors. So here you go.
Yeah. Stick it where the sun don't
There's
shine.
a big raspberry for you. And, if we wouldn't have, we did that rocking for a reason, and we had those nemesis that kind of fouled all that up. That probably cost us about $5,000. So,
yeah, at least.
Hope you all are proud of yourself for throwing that. And, why are they attacking me? I mean, it seems kind of odd that I'm the one that is being attacked over trying to help these survivors. It seems like maybe some of the people that are still making millions of dollars off the Lynyrd Skynyrd band, it seems like maybe they should be the ones that are being attacked. But it turns out that I'm being attacked, and I can't. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I mean,
well, it all started. I think somebody needed to be pissed off about something, so it started with a funeral brochure, and that kind of got people's panties in a wad. And then Craig donated that money to Mark Howard, I believe it was. And
that went directly to Mark.
Yeah, and then since then you've sold 2 more, and you made it quite clear. And there's not much crying.
No, nobody said a peep about that.
Yeah. So I guess the shock is over. But
and then we caught hell for doing the thing out there at Whitey's, because and Griff kind of came up with that idea. He goes, they're making the funeral closed. And there's a whole bunch of people that are going to Jacksonville, for Gary's funeral, and they're not going to be able to get in. It's closed. What are they going to do? He said, "Man, we ought to try to do something." And that's when the whole thing at Whitey's evolved, and it gave the people that went to Jacksonville to pay their respects to Gary, give them something to do, and it became a pretty successful thing, And well, we caught hell about that, saying we disrupted we disrespected Gary's thing, and it turned out to be pretty successful. And then it was kind of funny when those same people had a thing that they wanted to promote down in there in Jacksonville, used Whitey's, but it was kind of amusing.
Yeah, and the thing that really burns me up is nobody really knew Gary better than Craig. And so all the people that were getting on Craig's ass about it was such a rotten thing that he did, and all of these things, and Craig said, "Look, I knew Gary. I knew Gary better than anybody, and and I don't think Gary would have been mad about somebody selling his funeral brochure to help one of his fellow plane crash survivors get through, having his leg amputated." So,
Well, that wasn't the reason I did it to start with. I wanted to make Gary build on his fame and make him make his funeral brochure sell for Elvis more than Elvis, because I was always doing stuff with Gary and comparing it with Elvis, so it was just kind of something between me and Gary, and I thought
but it
was
wasn't the
cool.
money. It wasn't, you were trying to
Yeah.
get the money to keep it off of Gary's funeral brochure. And I'm sure you had
No, I
something in
never
common.
intended on keeping the money,
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what was funny. But whatever, but it's like Ronnie used to say, man, it don't matter what they say about you as long as they're talking about you, so, and it's not about me. It's about building this podcast and getting more subscribers, and so we can help these survivors. And that's kind of
Absolutely.
why we're doing this morning show and stuff. We don't know how that's gonna work out. I just hope we can maybe entertain people on their way to work. That's kind of like I said before, Griff and I talk on the phone just about every evening and talk for about a half hour, and we go, that should have been a podcast, and then
Yeah.
we say, maybe we should do something in the morning and just jibber jabber and just, do like a morning show. So that's all it kind of evolved. But whatever, we're going to try to make something happen. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
Well, the good thing
We
about
tried.
it
You never
is,
know until you try.
yeah, the topic isn't going to be necessarily Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's going to be anything, it's going to be current events, what's going on in the news, and what may have happened to Craig over the weekend or something. It could be anything. So don't look for skin formation all the time on the morning thing. That's only on Wednesdays that we talk about that kind of stuff mostly. So yeah, and the morning thing's only going to be like 30 minutes. And Craig, we talk on the phone every day, so we're just going to go ahead and record it because it's always a hoot when you talk to Craig anyway because he's
Well,
always
me and Kathy Godsey actually do some skin formation too, because we field most of the questions that we kind of overlook. That she kind of does the YouTube thing and kind of goes through YouTube and kind of grabs what people want to know from there and questions and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, she's the school teacher, and she's got a curriculum for us. Me and Craig, we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants. So yeah, that's basically what we'll do in the morning thing, and we'll see how it works. We just want to get our subscriptions up because that's how we get paid, and we want that money to go directly to the plane crash survivors. And those guys. I tell you, none of those guys ever ask for anything. They're all good people. Every one of them. There's only 5 of them that we kind of like look after because those are the ones that are in bad shape, and they're later on in their years, and they've got a lot of injuries and things that they're dealing with. And with the older you get, the harder it is to deal with things that happen to you, physically. And so they're going through a lot. So that's the reason we do it. And it's so great that we don't have a whole lot of subscribers, but the ones that we do have are very loyal. And as you can see, the guys that sent all the guys and gals that sent all the cards to Craig, and that was just like a last minute thing, and it was a great success because it brought in some more money for those guys, and now we get to send them some more money, and so that's why we want to pay back a little bit, have this contest for this microphone here, so you guys can win it, and then of course I'll put some other stuff in there, some really cool stuff, some autograph stuff probably Gene and Craig and things like that.
I watched and for those of people that don't know, Mark Howard also does a podcast, True Road Backstage and Road Stories. Mark Howard and I watched one the other day, and he's talking about before he had his leg amputated, he went to see Artimus, and he's telling about that adventure he had doing that. So yeah, if you go over and support him, yeah, he's got quite a few subscribers, and he makes a little bit of money off that. And I don't think he's doing any right now. He's not doing really good right now, from what I understand. He's going through a lot of pain and stuff. And
yeah, you guys go check that out, because he definitely has some really interesting stories on that podcast of his. And if you can boost up his subscriptions, boost them up here, like and subscribe, that'll help him out. And then on his own podcast, that'll help him out too.
Yeah, he worked for a lighting company, so he worked for a lot of different bands, so he's kind of interesting hearing, how other people operate too, and what he went through on the road with them, so yeah, I support his podcast. I think he's got close to 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he started, I think, a couple years before us, but he's doing pretty good, comparatively speaking. So you guys help him out. Go check him out. Backstage Road Stories. I might be saying that wrong, but I think that'll get you there.
True Backstage and Road Stories, I think.
Yeah,
is what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mark, if you're listening, man, we love you, and we hope that you're feeling better, and best wishes to you. And he's got a really great girlfriend that helps him out, Terry, and she's always let me know how he's doing and stuff like that. So thank you, Terry, for that.
Yeah,
and then, of course,
Mark's got a great attitude for all he's been through. He's got got a great attitude,
And he's got a great sense of humor. It's like when we were at the memorial, and I think Gene or Craig, somebody said, "Hey, get over here."
That was me.
Get over
Come on up here and jump up here and get your donation or something like that. It made some kind of smart
just
ass
lost his leg, but he's such a great guy. And if you've ever spent any time with him, it's just a down to earth, really great guy. And so we'll have him back on here again soon. And I'm confident that the Almighty's going to fix him up and get him going again, to where he can get back on his channel and get back on our channel, and so you guys can hear some more stories from him.
Yeah, it wasn't a couple of weeks after that he had his leg amputated. He was down there in Mississippi, so that's and like he said, when they didn't just cut his leg off, they had to go through a titanium rod to get his leg off, because he'd had several surgeries before, and they tried to cut that through that rod, and that rod kept getting hot. So
yeah, I think it was like it was supposed to be like a 2-hour operation. It ended up going, I think, about 8 or 10 hours or something like that. So, and then he went through so much trauma trying to save his leg. And of course, they decided that they couldn't do it. But
yeah, he had like 17 operations or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it was on both of his hips. And back in that time frame, doing hip replacements was pretty much experimental for the most part. And I've seen X-rays of Mark's hips, and just like Gene said at the monument, it looks like a junkyard in there. I mean, there's wire and all kinds of plates and things in there, and rods, and it's just amazing that the guy has the attitude that he has. But
yeah, that plane crash was almost 50 years ago. So yeah, the technology sure has improved since way back then. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're hoping that this next year is going to be even a better year. how much total do you think that we raised so far last year, Craig, for the
Well, that's what I
survivors?
said. We've just with this what we're gonna dish out. It's about $23,000 that we've sent out. It's divided 5 different ways. So it's
Yeah,
almost
and if
five.
we
It's
can,
almost $5,000 a piece.
so if we can just surpass that, we'll be happy, or even meet it, But hopefully we'll double it. That would be awesome if we could even double it. Um, and that we would like to be able to just do it off of the subscription. So if somehow maybe Craig would pull his pants down and shoot a moon, it'll go viral, and and everybody will want to see that. We got to do something crazy to get our subscriptions up. So
Yeah, the donations are slowing down, so we didn't want to survive off these donations anyways to send them, but yeah, we'd like to get, that now that, like to get the subscriptions back up, but for some reason our subscriptions aren't getting up very well. I think people must be watching this on their smart TV because everybody I talk to says, I haven't missed one. I've watched them twice. I mean, I talked to a lot of people, and they just comment, I've watched every one. I've watched every one. I've watched them twice. It's amazing.
well, we still have a lot of stuff to auction off, like this stuff behind me here. These pictures that Brandon Campbell and Kent Griffith sent us in. I got a box full of stuff in there. I went through. I think it was on the last podcast, and I'm going to be trickling that to Craig so he can put it on eBay, and then we'll be boosting up things just from that. So we'll really appreciate that from Kent and Brandon Campbell. So yeah, so basically the first of the year, we're going to start off with the morning show, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And then the other thing too I wanted to mention was February 13th, that Manatee Fest with Six Gun, and of course Sada Davidson's going to be there. You're going to have Six Gun, and then Derek Hess drumming, possibly Barry Lee Harwood coming there. That would be so cool. That'd be like almost reuniting Rossington Collins band there. And I'm sure they're going to do some Rossington Collins songs, some Skynyrd songs. It's going to be a great time. So you guys look up that Manatee Fest in Florida, in Crystal River. You don't want to miss that. I'll be there. I think Shelby is going to try to come down. Our Stoned Shelby is gonna try to be there. So we're gonna look forward to seeing you guys that are able to come, and you have to come up and say hi. And Craig, you're not going to be able to make it to that, are you?
No, I don't believe so.
Anything else you got you want to talk about, Craig?
No, I don't really know.
Okay, well, it is the holidays, and Craig and I, we got stuff to do during the holidays. That's fun. So, actually, I got to go pick up my guitar at the guitar shop. I got a 1978 Hummingbird that I broke out of my closet, and I took it down, had them set it up for me, and I'm gonna start messing around with that a little bit. Really good sounding guitar, so I got to get down to the music place and pick that up. And so we'll be back again. Craig, I think, is gonna do. Yeah, you and Kathy will be back on the Christmas Eve thing, doing
New Year's Eve. Yeah, we're gonna
New Year's Eve.
We're gonna do a New Year's, our second annual New Year's Eve thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy that we've been around that long. So it's amazing, and
Yeah.
we're still going strong. So thanks for all the support. And you guys are great, man, for sending all the donations, and we can't say how much we appreciate it. So with that, that's all I got, Craig.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So, okay. This is podcast 113 of the Stone Roadie Show, and we sure do appreciate you tuning in this evening. And until next time, happy trails to you until we meet again. And may the good Lord take a liking to you. And see you later, alligator. At a wild crocodile. Later. Bye-bye.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep token until then.